Okay, perfect. Okay, so the CyberArk is a credential store, right? And this the definition of the credential stores are stored at the tenant level in orchestrator. So you go to tenant credentials, and here you can define a new credential store. By default, you have orchestrator database, and beside that, you can add also other credential stores. So by clicking add, you define, we have different types of credential stores. We have CyberArk Arc, CyberArk CPP, and now we have also CyberArk Conjur. This is only a read-only credential stores, so you cannot, this cannot be used to also to record new values inside it. Because we didn't want to, for the first implementation, to complicate things. Setting a value, a variable in Conjur is a three-step process, let's say like this. And but we can talk about our decision later after this presentation. Okay, so for the CyberArk Conjur, you define the name of the credential stores. How do you want to appear in orchestrator when you select it? You must give the URL to your account. So it's something like for example, we have something like this for UiPath, and here is the host and the API key. I will leave this one and I will open the one that I already configured. Okay, so for the login name is you must give something like host and the application, the workload name, like data Emmanuel app that I defined. And the API key is the one that is generating. It was generated when you created the workload. The workload. The variable prefix help the users to not repeat some path information. So for example, all my variables will be inside the data vault Emmanuel safe. So to help out my users to not repeat this path everywhere, I can configure it at the credential store level, and this will be prepend to the full variable name when we request from CyberArk. Okay, so this was how you define the the credential store to access the CyberArk Conjur. And to use it, for example, you can go at the folder level and you can define an asset of type credentials. And here you specify that you want to read it from Conjur, from that defined credential store, like test Conjur. That was this was my name that I give it to my credential store of type Conjur. And here you put the external name, and you can see that I didn't have to type the full path to the variable. I could only type only a part of it, like Emmanuel Dejano, and this will be concatenated with the prefix from the definition of the credential store. And now let's see it in action. I created an orchestration to read the credential from this asset. And if I run it, this will connect to CyberArk and will read the username and the password. This is not a valid password, so don't worry to crop it from the video. Okay, So let me show you my setup in Conjur. Okay. So these are my secrets. The secrets have been synchronized from a privileged cloud to Conjur Cloud. And as you can see, I have all my variables start with data vault Emmanuel safe. And this Emmanuel space, the Janu, was the credential store, the credential that was read. So we have a password variable and username. So when you specify Emmanuel Dejano, we expect to have two variables, one with the username and the second one with the password. This is how they will be imported from the privileged cloud. The rest are some tests that I did. Like for example, I try with different characters to see if what problems can appear in our part. Also played a little bit with creation of the variables, but I didn't succeed here to do anything. I had some issue, and this is why for now we only have a read-only credential store. And if we go to workloads, here is my workload that you saw there, data /ML app, and here I can rotate and get a new API key that I have to put it there. Okay, so this is from our side, our presentation. If you have any questions about any part, and if you want to go to any part of the application, I can answer your questions.
Hi, Miano. Thank you. That's awesome. I have a couple questions. One, just to generally understand, like, maybe use cases like here, you have the variable ID prefix. So is it safe to assume in this case that, if the customer is using this and there's multiple safes, for example, that they would create a new credential store for each safe that they might have access to?
This is optional, right? This is only a help for.
It's optional. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
for the developers, for the operators that are using, create new assets, create a new access. So, for example, a credential store can be used also when you define an access. So when you go here in unattended setup, when you specify the credentials, you also can use Conjur. What happened? Okay, and you can specify the name here directly.
Okay,
right?
so it would be
to answer to this a little differently from a product point of view. Orchestrator is not really opinionated about where the users will be able to use these external credential stores. You can use them for the robot password, is what Emmanuel showed before, to log into Windows machines and start running there, or as general assets, so users and passwords for various applications. So depending on how they structure their information on the CyberArk side, they might be able to get a single store here and drop the prefix and use it for everything. Or if they have more data stores, different, they can create more here. There is no limit. In Orchestrator, you can create as many credential stores as you need with various data, probably different UID prefix or maybe different API keys, and use them where you need them. Maybe some of them, we've seen from some customers, and I think you know this much better than me, that some people prefer to separate the Windows passwords for the robots from the application passwords, and they will create probably two different stores here.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. And I think I didn't realize the variable ID there was optional, so that definitely makes more sense. In that, thanks both of you for clarifying that.
Yeah, maybe is a good point here to flag. But see, these are
I see that now.
these are required.
Yeah.
With asterisks.
And looking at this, obviously you're using the API authentication. Have you guys? I think I can't recall who Sharon had met with. I guess last year now. I know there was some experimentation with the JWT authenticator. Were you guys able to use that or see if that would work at all in the build out of this?
No, not yet. So we need to we work with this API key, right? To authenticate. So we support this scheme of authentication. We use this API key to generate a token, and that token is valid for 8 minutes, and we use that to retrieve variables from CyberArk Conjur.
Which would be the preferred version by your side, guys? Is API key okay, or should we invest a little more time to see how the JWT works?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, obviously JWT would be a lot more secure. Right, we'll get rid of that secret zero from the API key, but obviously it would depend also if the customers are set up to be able to use the JWT and set it up properly. But in general, I would say we have integrations that we built with API key too, and generally we would like to get rid of secret zero at the end of the day, but we know not all customers are capable of doing that. And this is awesome to do it first, and then having that option for JWT would be great too, just because it helps make it a little bit more secure. But I know that it adds some more complexity to the development. I think
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I say that's great insight. So let's keep in touch about this, whether you decide to deprecate API keys, or if you consider that enough people or the majority of customers are enabled to use JWT, and we'll synchronize roadmaps and make sure that we support this as well, so that people can seamlessly transition between them. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. And there's no immediate plan to deprecate API key right now. There's still customers that use that. And honestly, for the JWT side, maybe we can talk about this again later, is, does UiPath have the capability to build those job tokens and is there ability to create job tokens within UiPath? It really depends on that, on if customers can use it or not at the end of the day.
Everything is doable, of course, with enough effort involved. I think we just chose the easiest path to satisfy customer requirements now, but obviously we can improve on this plugin in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is the best start here, right? Having something that way we can also get feedback from customers, and if we hear more about the JWT, we can get that on your roadmap, and then we can talk more about it as well.
If you can share a small console application in any language, programming language, that is using this flow, right? We can will be easier for us to implement it in our infrastructure.
Yep, sure. And I think obviously JWT can be a whole different rabbit hole too. So I'm not going to derail this conversation, but this is great.
So saying, Keith, do you feel like we can certify the integration as is, or should we wait for the JWT to certify?
I think I don't think we have to wait for the JWT to certify.
Okay.
Because even we have integrations that are API key only, and so I don't think that should be a blocker to certify.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
So then,
second question, I have just one more quick question. Do we have an integration guide to go along with this?
right. Can you guys provide us a link to this any documentation?
Certainly, I don't think we wrote the public-facing documentation yet, but
Okay.
I will take a look and talk to the docs team, or we can write something, a draft. Yes, basically, yeah. We'll write something. I don't know if it's already written. The integration is quite simple because the plugin itself will be already sent via orchestrator's code. So it's basically just clicking around in the dialog that you just saw. So explaining what the fields are. The plugin documentation tend to be quite short. If you know the other CyberArk plugin documentation pages, they're not that complicated.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really the two things that are needed to certify the integration and get it listed in the marketplace, the CyberArk marketplace, is the demo, which you just did, which is great, and then the integration guide. We also love to have 2 to 3 minute little videos that would show somebody how it is configured and how it works. We see a lot of value in that with our clients and marketplace. We get a lot of good feedback from the integrations where we have videos. So if that is something that you could provide as well. Like I said, we're not looking for anything real glossy or real long. It's 2 to 3 minutes. Here's how it's configured, and here's the value on it. Is that something you feel like you could provide?
Yeah, I think so.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
Then I have one final comment or thought there is, I think this was specifically tested with Conjur Cloud, and this was with the Orchestrator Cloud version, right? So I would say maybe just the labeling could be Conjur Cloud. I'm not sure if it's been tested with Conjur Enterprise, but it might not work. And just to, for maybe customers that might see it to help clarify to them. But I don't know. Have you tested it with Conjur Enterprise by chance? I'm assuming not.
No,
Okay.
I only use what I showed you, that interface.
Okay, then I would say.
Yeah, I think same here. The reason, so we have the CCP version of this integration, but obviously we have some clients that were looking for something that's cloud to cloud, nothing on-prem. That was the reason for the Conjur Cloud integration. So it satisfies that request.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so maybe just to, in case customers see it and they see Conjur, just so they don't think that it would work with enterprise as well, because I don't think it would.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So just I think labeling wise, Conjur Cloud might just be help with the experience with customers there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we expect it not to work? Is the API different? Can we maybe test and then check?
We could test, but the API for cloud has the /API at the end, whereas the Conjur Enterprise API does not. And so usually that should, if we can handle that, but the other case is more than likely that Conjur appliance URL is not going to be public. And so because it'll be self-hosted in the customer environments, it might even just fail trying to get to that Conjur endpoint in general.
Yeah, and I think right now the primary integration is complete, the cloud to cloud, and that's what clients are requesting. So I don't know that Conjur Enterprise is that crucial at this point. Something we'll, if we have a client request it, then I think we can definitely look at that. But I think at this point, the Conjur Cloud is the one that is the most important at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I don't think it hurts to test it in the future. I mean, I think it would be a small change. It's just more than likely that network will block that inbound request anyways.
Yeah, if you have the bandwidth and we want to test it, there's no harm in doing that. And it would be a good thing to have, I guess, for any future requests from clients. But the Conjur Cloud is definitely the most important at this point. And I'm really happy that we have this in place. This is great.
Can you please write in the chat exactly how you want the branding to look like, so we change the label and don't forget about it?
Yes, sure. And I'll confirm with our side too, and I can email it out just to make sure. But essentially, I'm thinking it would be CyberArk Conjur Cloud. But let me confirm that before I send it and we start doing anything there.
Sure, perfect. Thank you.
I have a question or raise some special request. Who can help us from CyberArk to provide access to CyberArk Cloud Conjur? We need access for 2 QA for orchestrator team, and I want to send an email, but to deliver who?
Are you looking for just access to a Conjur Cloud instance, or what
Same
exactly?
instance where Emmanuel has access, because we want to test some scenarios from orchestrator side, and we need access to create secrets.
Can you share? You might even have access to do it from the UI itself.
I don't have access to do anything.
Okay, got it. Brian, I guess I can talk to, or Chris, I can talk to Sharon about that. I'm not sure who maintains that instance.
Okay. Yeah, well, we can follow up on that.
So will this be a
Okay,
separate instance from the one you used to build the integration?
I think it's the same one that Emmanuel
Yes.
demoed on.
So
Yes.
I think we have
one.
one single instance, I think.
Right. And you want another tenant for Conjur Cloud, or
No,
we want more users to that instance.
okay?
Yes,
Okay.
same tenant, just to add two more users.
Okay. Yeah, Sankirth, if you could check with Sharon and find out, and then help Chris with that request, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Will. Okay, I will send the email to Chris, and and if Chris, can you help us to forward to the right person, if it's okay?
Yes. Yep. That's fine. That works.
Yeah, just let Chris know the names and email addresses of the people that'll need the access, and then he can work with Sankirth to get that set up.
Yes, this is perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. So yeah, so if we can just if you guys can just provide a short integration guide, and if you're able to do a quick video, then we'd be able to get this certified and put out on our marketplace. So I guess those would be the next steps from here.
Yeah, I put it on my to-do list. I will synchronize it in such a way that when we release it publicly, you have all the materials, so you can also do the same on your side, and we'll sync them.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I think that was a great meeting. Thank you for the demo, Emmanuel. I think it's the first time I saw it completely, and it looks great.
Great. All right.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.